Hi, my name is Maaz, and I'm going to spin really fast. Roadworks ahead? I sure hope it does. Okay, so I can imagine the comments now. Like, yo, Maaz, why are you in the chair? Why is there a picture of a furry in the background? And to that I answer, your parents don't love you.
And future Maaz, I've hacked my way here because past Maaz talked a lot and rambled all the time. Look at me, I think I'm so smart and I'm in a leather chair. Shut up, bro. So future Maaz, I hear you ask, what's with you wearing this swanky looking hoodie and this mug? And that's because I've got some new merchandise over at my crowd made. This little design right here blends in with the shirt color and looks fashionable. You can actually wear it in public. So check it out, look in the description below for it. And I'm proud to announce that NordVPN has come back with me to sponsor this video and protect your data. They're an absolutely fantastic service and almost essential when it comes to data protection. So head on over to nordvpn.com/Maaz with the coupon code Maaz, M-A-A-Z, for 75% off a 3-year plan. So go check out the description for the link below.
Well, I wanted to make this little video called Your Opinion, My Answers, or YOMA for short. Short for Yo Mama! This is where I take your hot opinions that is maybe a little controversial and I'll basically answer them, alright? Now, some of you might be like, yo, wait a second, Maaz, why don't you just call it My Answers, Your Opinion, so you can be like Mayo for short. Mayo, get it, it's Mayo. And to that I answer, you're adopted. And to kickstart this, I made one tweet asking for those opinions. And I got way more than I thought I would. So the first response is, when you ask a community for ideas because you low-key don't have any. So the next response. Alright, so although I got like heaps of tweets and stuff, one person, a mate of mine actually by the name of Nate is Lame, provided dot points in which a lot of the other responses fit into, so I'm gonna use his one as kind of like a guideline, and then I'll give my responses to each of them sequentially. Just a bit of context for those who don't know me.
Hi, my name is Maaz and I've been involved with the community for around about 2 years now. I've witnessed the things that's been happening outside the community as well as inside the community, so that's why I think I can provide an interesting, different perspective to all of your questions. Keep in mind though, that whilst I have some knowledge about what's been happening in this community, everything that I state is opinion and should not be taken as 100% fact.
So Nate said, the genre is going stale. The genre is going stale. And my answer to that is, yeah, it is. If you look within the animation community, I don't think you'll find many people who say, nah, we are perfect. Leave us the way it is, you peasants. Get away from me. Now, of course, a lot of people will, I think, agree that it's not as unique as it once was. And then we get into the next question, which is why? Why is that the case? So let me give you a quick history lesson, okay? So first and foremost, there was Swoozie and Domix. Bam, they used to make these animated short stories. They were really successful. They did a good job. Good on you guys. Now, then comes along James and Jaden, okay? James just having a success in his comics, Jaden having worked for iHas Cupquake, decide they want to make animated stories as well. James and Jaden then take the format established by Domix and Swoozie and then spin it to give their own style.
So why am I bringing this up? Well, just to reiterate a little bit, James and Jaden saw what was working and applied their own spin to it to make new content. However, in doing so, along with the animation squad, they popularized this genre. So what ended up happening was that people tried to emulate exactly the style that they were doing instead of making it their own.
Now, that's not a bad thing. When you're starting off, that's fine. And that's also not to everybody, because you've got, you know, Taz, Rebecca Parham, and Marichu, just to name a few, who are immensely successful and started off with their own very distinct style. But also, and I say this in an objective sense, Tim Tom and Something Else YT did start off very similar to the Odd Ones Out style. Not a negative thing, because they've obviously got their own style now, but they did.
And because people are sticking to the same old formula and screaming, I'm the next Odd Ones Out, instead of experimenting with the videos, causing people to find the content stale.
Which leads on to the next point that Nate made, which was, I want story times about drugs and other PG-13 rated stuff. And he's not the only one who thought about this. A lot of people actually had this concern. I want more mature storytime animators. Now, this is linking back to the profits versus desire that I mentioned beforehand. The fact of the matter is, this entire genre is taking advantage of the change of YouTube. And unfortunately, with the algorithm today, we can't be as mature as we want. We can push the line. I definitely push lines.
But unfortunately, if we talk about sensitive topics or put cuss words or put no-no words on our titles, we will get spammed stamped by the yellow badge of demonetization on our dummy thick cheeks. Sometimes what we want is hampered by what we actually need, because at this current state, YouTube is a full-time job for certain people, and it's legitimately what puts food on their table. Would you really blame them if they followed the rules laid out by YouTube to maximize their income? And this leads on to the next thing of desire, because
we want to push the boundaries. I don't think any animator is sitting down and saying, you know what? I'm perfect. Just don't talk to me. Don't ask me, please. No, of course not. No one thinks that. So there are examples of mature content channels like Bruce Stu, Salmonella, and Young Dawn, and like you can do that and that's fine, but it also traces back to just what is required. Animation's already a once a month thing, and so working on this for weeks and then having a cut of our income is just like, why would you do that? You know what I mean?
Not to mention the people who want to remain family friendly as a role model to their audience, and there's nothing wrong with that. But on the flip side, older audiences also have the right to be like, look, this is baby content. What the frick? Give me some big boy stuff, man. Oh yeah.
So I'm going to tackle two of Nate's points here, which is animators, including myself, need to work on making our voiceovers more sonically interesting and not so monotone, and there's too much focus on artwork and not enough on the storytelling aspect. And to that, I agree. This is one of the big things I say to people when they start off, okay? Animation storytelling has more emphasis on storytelling than animation. And I always give this example, okay? So if I made a video tomorrow and the story was about Bazza the kangaroo, okay? Would you watch it? Would you watch a story about a kangaroo named Bazza? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't, okay? But then this 6-foot white marshmallow boy comes out with Harry the Moth, and everyone's like frothing over it, you know what I mean? Personality and the way you tell stories is more effective than the visuals. People know that his personality and the way he tells stories is so interesting, they're literally willing to watch a story about a moth. About a moth, people! It's a moth!
So if you tell a story in an interesting and captivating way, not only will your audience start to like you as a personality, but they'll also be more willing to watch a video outside the niche genre that you're currently doing. Think about it like this. 2 new channels come and join our cozy little community and make Storytime animation videos. One makes videos with amazing visual, but kind of shoddy storytelling, whereas the other makes videos with stories that capture the audience, but with kind of rubbish artwork. So which one would you watch, okay? Because if you answered the one with better visuals and worse storytelling, how does it feel to have your pants on fire, huh? You stinking liar? You stinking liar? What are you gonna do? You gonna cry? You gonna cry? You gonna piss your pants? Maybe
all of this leads on to the next point that Nate made, which was that the true potential of the medium hasn't been realized after all these years, and people are not taking full advantage of the freedom of animation. A fellow animator by the name of Andre Turbia also said this, where we don't realize the potential of the genre, they're too busy copying what works, and there needs to be more experimentation and patent breaking. This is repeated by a few more people as well. Now, this is an interesting thing because I generally agree that we do need more experimentation and patent breaking. But to say that it's not happening, or to say that majority of people are not doing it, is also, in my opinion, probably disingenuous to say. Because a lot of the established creators understand that to really stand out and to hold on to the test of time, they need to be more unique. And so that's why, slowly but surely, you've been seeing changes ever so slightly in their content. And for example, James, you know, the most popular, he talked about movies and PBS TV shows in his style. Even though that's not a story time, Jaden is now shifting a little bit of a focus to have more substantiative content, like, you know, mental health, anxiety. Rebecca Parham adding more of her theatricality, and those are storytime people who are trying to expand out. I think we do have to give credit to the people who are rising up, adding more spin to it, like Danplan for having more hypothetical content, like Zelinki for having more skit-based comedy, and Andre, I'm going to give you a little bit of credit here as well for having in the now subjective commentary. But it's also important to acknowledge that spins on this established genre. So Emi Richu ditched the entire like comedic aspect. That's not to say that she's not funny, which she's not, no kidding. I'm just saying that she's now being more positive than anything else. Similarly, Sultan's sketches went for a storybook thing, and that's beautiful as well. Adding that little bit of spice is necessary, and I think that's what a lot of us are trying to do. Because if we go too abruptly and... I want a mango. Be right back, be right back.
Get it? I said abrupt changes. That's a joke. Wow!
Ugh. Get a mango. Some people might be like, hey Maaz, you should cut your mango. I say no, I should peel this mango and eat it like a degenerate. Now where was I up to? We all want to move towards our desires without sacrificing the profit, right? If we make content that we want but too abruptly, without really a transition phase for the audience, you get a situation, and I mean this in the most objective way, like Tony V Toons, in which he shifted so dramatically to his musical content that he alienated a lot of his already established animated fan base. And that's a no-no.
By the way, if you haven't listened to his music yet, you totally should. I personally recommend Detached and Party Harvey because those have been playing on my Spotify playlist on loop for weeks now.
I've been all alone, body feeling numb. I've been doing so amazing.
I hate my life. What am I doing with my life?
So, do we need more pattern breaking? Absolutely. And I've definitely got some things along my way. And I know a lot of people in the community who've got things going their way as well. So let's just see where it goes. Oh, and another thing that Nate mentioned was that how we should call ourselves cartoonists and not animators.
Okay, so this question had me going on for like 5 minutes, and I'm not totally sure as to how I got here, but...
Call me brown, call me white, call me mommy, call me daddy, I don't care. Just call me... Up to you. Okay, you. So Katzoon, Ovelskibum, and What mentioned that there's literally no style diversity when it comes to animation, with a few exceptions. There's a majority of have awkward personalities, and we just need to change the character designs. Now, interesting. Look, Kat, I love you, and you're one of my closest friends. But what are you talking about with regards to style? There's no style differences. Do you mean visual style? Do you mean storytelling style? I don't get it.
So with the same personalities, yeah, look, I can get that. And we've talked about it before about them trying to copy some of the big boys. But with the observation that most of the animators are introverted or awkward, I'm not totally sure as to what else you would expect. It's a genre that requires people to stay indoors for days on end and drool over their tablets and hiss at the light. So it's no surprise that most of the people that come into it are awkward or introverted to some extent. That being said, there are a few exceptions, myself included, and I do understand the craving for something different than those underlying personality traits, but I'm sure that's gonna come with time. I'm sure.
Now, with regards to no style, that's an interesting thought. If you mean visual style, I've got to disagree with here. If you look at the established animators anyway, and compare Rebecca Parham to Jaden, to Errol Story, to Domix, to Ginger Pale, to Speechy, they've all got very distinct visual styles. And to say that it's all the same is frankly like a little bit naive. If you're talking about new creators or rising creators, then look, you can't be too harsh on them. They're just trying to do what works, and they're trying to see what works. I think none of us had a first video that we're exceptionally proud of, okay? My one was utter garbage. Similarly, Katie and Christina mentioned that there's too many people that copying color templates. I've also got to give you a hard disagree here. So what I'm going to do is place 5 color schemes here, okay? And I want you to answer in the comments, who do you think it is? If you get it right, then fantastic. If you didn't, whatever. But if you are able to distinguish who the creator is based on the color alone, they've succeeded. But if you're talking about new creators or rising creators, then one of the things I can tell you if you're watching, get a color scheme. Get a few colors that you think will remind people of you and stick with it, okay? You basically own a color. You put a little picket in it and go, mine! Maybe one of you guys should go mango orange. That might work. So this person said, why are the younger animes underrated? And they linked a bunch of people like Swoosh and Adini, etc. I don't think they are underrated. You linked people who have 100,000 subscriber channels. They're very rated. That's a good amount. As regards to why they may not be as popular as some of the more established creators, I think I would refer to Alex's comment, which is that I really enjoy watching Storytime animations by older YouTubers because they've had more experience and more time in life and more time to reflect and laugh at their mistakes rather than just ranting. I'm 21, I'm not even that old. But, like, if I rant to you about a crappy class I had, you know what I mean? That's an entertaining story. But if I rant to you about a crappy class I had and what I could have done to make it better, oh, bon appetit! You know, it's just like, it's just so much better like that. Easier. Signatelli says that the only way for a newcomer to have any kind of success in the Storytime animation is if they're lucky enough to score a collaboration with the odd ones out. Now, I'm going to give you a disagree here. Not a hard disagree, but a disagree here. Is it true that if you collab with James, there's a chance of success? Yes. but it's important to know that it is just a chance. There have been many people who have collabed with James but not blown up. That's probably more common than people blowing up because of James. And look, I can't disagree. A lot of people, including myself, have initially gained success from working with James. There are a few people in the community who, after working with James, have not been able to maintain that newfound subscriber boost and actually plateaued or even died because of it. I'd actually say if you are unable to pull off a collab, it's probably more harmful to your channel than anything, because now YouTube thinks that you're able to pull off those numbers all the time, but then you release a new video and it's not able to pull off their numbers. Then what do you do? What do you do then?
And so you really need to be able to create engaging videos as well as foster a loyal community after the collab to really maintain that momentum. But with that being said, I don't think you need a collab to succeed. Because even with the most recent people who have blown up within the community, such as Emi Richu, Sultan Sketches, Illymation, Kurt Ritchie, Alex's Corner, none of them have collab with the old ones out. So no, you don't have to have James within your videos to succeed. You just need to make something unique to really stand out above the other channels.
There's just so much, and I've been recording for an hour. Like, this is just gonna be a nightmare to edit, okay? So I think I'm gonna stop it there. So if you have any more hot takes, any more controversial opinions, any more spicy thoughts, tweet it at me under the hashtag YOMA. Your opinions, my answers, and let's just talk about let's just talk about it, guys. Let's just talk about it. And I'll eat another mango in the next video.
Hacked again. Now that I've got access to Maaz's data, I can help you protect yours. And thankfully, I've got NordVPN to help out with that. But Maaz, I hear you ask, why do I need a VPN? Well, even though you may not be a celebrity or a government agent, did you know that your data is valuable to third parties and hackers like myself? Hacker mode initiate. I'm in. And that your internet service provider actually tracks your data and could use it for that regard? Isn't that scary? So what VPNs do is that they encrypt your data as you go online so that you can remain private. Almost like an internet firewall. And with NordVPN, it's got over 5,000 super speedy servers in 62 countries, so you can actually enjoy whatever content for whatever country anytime you want. And that way you can make sure that some sneaky beaky brand boy isn't getting into your search history. So if you head on over to the description below to nordvpn.com/Maaz with the coupon code MAAZ, Maaz for short, you can try this risk-free for a month and get 75% off a 3-year plan along with an additional month. This is just for you, baby. And if you are interested, please make sure to click on the link in the description below.
So thank you so much for you listening to my opinions over me eating a mango, and I hope that we can keep doing this and give me more mangoes. Alright, laters, and stay amazing. Roadworks ahead, I hope. Oh, this mango is so good. Okay, I get it, it's stale, okay. Ah. So, I'm gonna make it more interesting though. Okay, let me redo that, so I'm gonna do the more interesting. I just don't care. Call me what you want. Call me mommy, call me mayo mommy.